Hey guys.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, everybody.
Are you guys exhausted by this point, or are you still?
No,
we're still got the
It's
spirit?
the morning, so
Yeah.
All right.
a couple of hours into.
Yeah. I hear you.
I think that 5 o'clock will be the zombie point. There is zombie point somewhere there.
Once
But
the
after
panel's over this afternoon,
yes,
that's
after
it.
the panel.
Yeah, we're the special guests for Walking Dead. We're just gonna...
Yeah. There you go.
So, most notably absent during this press session, Joel Kinnaman, not here. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not upset about that. So, what can you share about his character since he's not here to plug his lead role himself?
Well, I will say he's not here, but I feel like physically I embody himself, so it's not much of an absence. Yeah, what can we say about it? I mean, Joel, casting him was really one of the highlights of this process. He's one of these actors that, I don't know, there's something different about him. Yes, he's beautiful, but I do think he's also got a charisma and sort of this dark side to him too that I think we wanted to embrace with this character. So this was a really difficult character to cast. It took months, and the moment he became available, we just pounced and went after him. And his excitement for the show, as you'll see soon, is palpable. Like, it really did encourage us and help with our whole cast, our whole ensemble. I mean, there's a lot of actors in the show, and to have a guy like that be able to embrace the idea of an ensemble helped with everything. So it was great.
And his character really embodies that sort of prototypical astronaut of that era. You know, the sort of masculine aviator sunglasses, drives a fast Corvette. But a historical detail we discovered as we were developing the show helped us reframe him, because we discovered that the Apollo 10 mission, which was basically a dress rehearsal for the Apollo 11, it got almost all the way to the moon, and they just didn't land. They just circled and came back. And we thought, well, if the Russians had beaten us to the moon, what would the feelings be about that crew that had almost done it? And if they had been able to go for it, how would, and so Joel is the commander of that mission, and the sense of regret and, the what if of his character really drove his presence in the show.
Can you tell us a little, how did this show come to be? How did this process start?
There's just this magical moment. No, okay. It was, we were developing with Ron. We were trying to find a project, and we were actually talking about doing a Western together at the time.
Western?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We're obsessed with Westerns, and Ron is too, so we shared that. And as we were discussing this project, Ron had mentioned that Apple's interested in doing a space show. And of course, Matt and I, we have a long history of obsession with NASA and the early days of NASA, and a lot of the stories and characters in NASA that have been forgotten by history. So we kind of started talking to him about it, and he talked to us, and the excitement of it led to a lot of what the show ended up becoming. So I think Apple being a service that's launching using this platform is almost the perfect fit. And there was something about the show early on that there was a kismet to it. It always made sense. It came together very easily, but it felt like the right time to do a show, an optimistic show about history. And yeah, it's been a wild ride, honestly. It happened so fast. By the time we knew it, we were had a lunar surface on a soundstage with Joel Kinnaman in a spacesuit, and it was incredible. I mean, it's incredible to already be here and done with season 1, so it's special.
Yeah.
And then going from the Western to a space, and then realizing you have Ron D. Moore and Meryl Davis at disposal, what went through your head?
Yeah.
It was just such a pleasure. It's the great pleasure of our career to work with them, because it's just we see things the same way, and we have such a similar sensibility, and it's a rare thing to find people you can work with that you just immediately get along with and spur each other creatively. I think I don't know. It's just been great.
Yeah, we've been fortunate in our career to work with really people. We worked with Jason Katims, Noah Hawley on Fargo for the whole run of that. So Ron Moore, it was really this thing of oh my God, when we heard he wanted to work with us and we started meeting, it was that instant thing where all we could talk about is history, and what happened in the past. So immediately we felt there's something here we can tap into. And I think television is a collaborative medium. And his openness, I mean, the guy speaks for himself, his past. So his openness to co-creating this with us and really involving us in every aspect of it has been incredible. He's been an incredible partner. And Meryl, too. I mean, their success speaks for itself, I think. So we're just trying to push ourselves through the door at this point. This is our first show we've created, so it's a different experience for us. So.
How has that journey been? Because you guys have done Entourage, Fargo, Umbrella Academy, and now this is something, very different. So how is that?
There is Space Boy in Umbrella Academy, so there was move.
Right. Yeah. There's a UFO in Fargo. So it's always been
that was
leading up
the UFO in Fargo. I'm still like, what?
Yeah, we were that way too.
Yeah.
Like, we were doing the UFOs like a challenge.
Let's just do it. Just throw it in there.
And also the bowling alley in season 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
No, I think it's interesting because as different as those shows are, there is a weirdness to all of them that I think we embrace in our writing, a dark reality. Fargo especially, I think Fargo was really the first show where we found our voice, was that this, because we started out in comedy and we never could find our feet in it. Fargo was a way for us to do a drama that had comedy in it, and it spoke to us. And I think this show kind of takes that lesson as well. It's like, there's so much TV right now. I remember in the Fargo room, the biggest insult you could give someone was, "That sounds like TV." And in this show, it's kind of continued, where we challenge ourselves to break the mold of television and do something truly new and refreshing. I think this show, in ways that I'm still discovering, it really has done that. I mean, it's a very different kind of show. Episode to episode changes dramatically. What you watch in the beginning of the season almost feels like a different show than what you see at the end of the season. So I'm very excited to see people's reactions as it unveils itself. So.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is a through line of all the shows we've been a part of is that we really try to challenge the audience and not make this story expected or easy. And this show also, I think it's there's going to be a lot of unexpected storytelling elements that will really make it interesting, and you have to really be on the edge of your seat to follow along. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like in Fargo, I think we love complicated characters. We love this challenge of, am I supposed to root for this person? Why am I rooting for this person? Wait, what am I? I think the question of did that really happen is another thing that I think our show embraces. We don't spoon feed to the audience. We don't tell them, look, this is different. This is like we expect the audience. The audiences are so intelligent now, especially sci-fi audiences, that I know they'll do the research to see what is real and what isn't. And there's a lot of those Easter eggs throughout the show.
With the logistics of creating an alternate history, are you making everything completely its own world, or are you kind of trying to bring in things that still happened in the history that we know?
I mean, it was very important because we were asking the audience to buy into this alternate history, that especially at the beginning of the show, that we firmly planted it in reality as much as possible. So like we went to great lengths to make sure that everything in the space program that we were showing was as accurate as possible. Our mission control set is basically an exact replica of the mission control set. We had Jerry Griffin, who was one of the flight directors from that time, come to the set, and he said it was almost exactly the same, except the ceiling tiles should have been more yellow from all the cigarette smoke that they had in the 60s. So,
did you repaint the ceiling then?
No, it was a little too late. We had continuity issues, but it was a lot of fun to really be as accurate as possible.
Are there plans for a second season?
There are hopes and dreams, and we'll see.
Yeah.
And can you tell about meddling with one of the, as I think from my Polish perspective, one of the most important points in American history, something that defines, so winning the race, from where did it came that it could be changed, and that from what we hear it could be a good thing that they lost.
One of our mantras on the show was by losing we wind up winning. That it's that victory was such an amazing, iconic moment, but it actually, after that point, because the Russians weren't able to follow our lead, everything, all those plans just sort of petered out, and the competition that drove us to these great things ended. And so our show is positing, what if that competition kept going? and the Russians and the United States kept pushing each other to go further and further, and what would that look like?
Thank you.
Thank you.